There's just something to me about a little car and having a lot of fun. And I tell you what, she moves. She definitely moves. This is so fun. Oh, it's good. It is good. What is going on, it's Barney here, back at it with another video, and welcome back to Proving Autos, and also welcome back to my Ibiza Cupra Black, my new toy, shall we say. Now, I've owned the car for about, well, actually prior to filming this video, I've actually owned the car now for about 5 weeks, and believe it or not, I've covered nearly 2,500 miles already, so yeah. I've done a lot of miles in a very short space of time. Absolutely loving this thing. But I suppose the nature of today's video is actually because I suppose you guys will probably be a little bit confused as to why did I actually sell my M240i and decide to, can we say downgrade? I mean, actually in some ways, yes, it's a downgrade. In actually a lot of other aspects, it's actually an upgrade, believe it or not, which I have mentioned in my reveal video. But of course I will just mention it again just to sort of recap. But I suppose we haven't actually gone for a good blast in the car on the channel as such. I think let's just jump in the car, let's go for a little cruise, and I will of course explain all. Actually, just before we do get on the road, let's have a quick walk round, just for those who haven't actually seen it yet. So yes, as I say, this is my Ibiza Cupra Black, which I've owned for about 5 weeks now, finished in monsoon grey, which honestly, I do actually really love this colour. On 17-inch alloys. Now, of course, as I mentioned, it is the black, so you do get black alloys as standard. You do get black mirror covers. There's a few other things as well which you do get with the car. Now that's not actually standard. That's actually just been wrapped. Actually, the only modifications that have actually been done to the car is just a couple of black wrapped badges. So yeah, other than that, it is completely standard for now. Anyway, so yeah, as I say, you get there's a few things you get. You do also get the big, nice big screen as well, which I actually really love. This is actually a very rare option, the half leather, half Alcantara seats. Really love that. And as you can see there, it's got the 6-speed manual gearbox. Aero kit as well, fitted from factory. That's actually another option. I do actually believe the only optional extra this car doesn't have is the pan roof. It's got absolutely everything else. It's even got rear parking sensors, which is actually also an option on these. It has the later 1.8 TSI engine, not the twin-charged 1.4. Hideously unreliable, as I've heard. I think they're even that bad. Even VW Group, Seat, VW were actually refusing to take cars in as Part X's. So yeah, that's how bad they were. This is a much more reliable engine. Touch wood. Don't want to tempt fate now I've said that. But yeah, honestly, looks fantastic. I know it's not the cleanest at the minute. I'm planning to sort that out a little bit later on. But yeah, anyway, that is a brief overlook of the car. So I suppose, yeah, as I say, let's jump in the car now and let's get on the road. Let's have a bit of fun. And I will, of course, explain on the way why I actually decided to sell my M240i and decided to buy the Ibiza Cupra. I should sort of say really that this isn't actually my first time with one of these cars. I did actually have one brand new a few years ago on a work scheme that I was on in my old job. So this isn't actually the first time with an Ibiza Cupra Black. Oh, hang on a minute, we've got a acceleration opportunity coming up. And I'll tell you what, she moves. She definitely moves. Wow. I know 192 brake doesn't sound like a lot, but this car is just, it's such a small and light car, so it just takes off. So I suppose obviously coming from an M240i, yeah, it's not as quick as that, nowhere near in fact, but it's just such a nippy, fun little car. There's just something to me about a little car and having a lot of fun. It's not all about speed. I think that's one of the things with it. It's not all about speed, you know what I mean? And actually I've had over 4 years of driving autos, and to be honest with you, I dare say it, I've missed driving a manual. It's just, you just feel so much more involved. You feel a lot more engaged, I think. Obviously it's needless to say, I do prefer an automatic for cruising. Like say if I'm cruising to work, I do miss the auto for that aspect. But for throwing round corners and having fun, manual all the way. Save the manuals, as I say, and that's actually the thing. The sad thing is that in a few years, manuals they're getting harder and harder to come by now, but in a few years they will be a thing of the past. Like say when petrol and diesel gets phased out completely, and the only cars you can buy is going to be electric, there's going to be no manual gearboxes, which is actually very sad, but it's that is just the way cars are going these days. But honestly, I have to say, I'm actually having so much fun with this car. So I suppose, yeah, let's go into the reasons why I've decided to buy it. I explained the reasons before why I sold the M240i. It was just one of them because of the rising cost of the insurance. So just to keep it running, it was just costing me an absolute bomb, which was going to completely wipe out my savings, which is just something I was not prepared to do by any means. So I knew I was going to have to probably sell it and buy something cheaper, which is what I did. But I still wanted to kind of have my fun, if that makes sense. I was looking at this, I was looking at a Polo GTI, I was looking at a Fiesta ST, but I suppose the reason why I went for this, I suppose number one, as I mentioned, I have had one before, sort of, not owned one, but I have had one in my possession. So I suppose, I just thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to stick to what I know. I've had a lot of VAG cars. That majority of cars I've owned have all been VAG cars, even the ones that I've had, they've not actually been my cars. So the only two cars I have owned which haven't been VAG is my first car, my little Mazda, and the M240i. Other than that, I've had mainly VAG cars. So it's fair to say that I've moved back. So I'm not new to them by any means. So, and I suppose another reason why I decided to go for this car was because it's different. Like say if you think, oh yeah, I'm going to go for a small, nippy hot hatch, you immediately think about a Fiesta ST. But as I mentioned before in a previous video, they only brought 500 Ibiza Cupra Blacks in the country, into the UK, and I think only about 100 of them have got the half leather, half Alcantara seats, the sports seats, should we say. And I must say, it's got to be said, they are really, really like comfy. I didn't actually think they were to begin with, but I've just come back from my road trip up to Scotland, and not once have I really felt uncomfortable. And there's so much support as well. I mean, all right, I could do with losing a few pounds so I can actually fit into the seats a little bit better. But they are actually really supportive. It's got to be said. So, of course, come to have my fun, as usual, we get stuck behind somebody doing 45, 50 mile an hour. We have got a bit of a straight coming up, so fingers crossed then we can actually get around him. So I suppose going back to the topic in hand, is that it's one of them. I knew I had to downgrade. Well, downgrade. It's actually in some ways it's actually an upgrade, because my M240i did not have Apple CarPlay, which this car has. It didn't have electric folding mirrors, which this car has. Didn't have the half leather, half Alcantara seats, sports seats, which this car, of course, does have. So, you know, it might look like a downgrade, but actually spec-wise, it's got the aero kit as well. As I've already mentioned, this car has got nearly every optional extra apart from, I think I do believe, unless there's anything else that I've missed, I do believe that the only optional extra it doesn't have was the pan roof. It's actually a really great spec. Now, actually, before we do go any further, I actually forgot to shout him out in the last video, but I want to give a bit of, it's actually unusual for me doing this, but me actually shouting out a garage where I've actually bought a car, but I do actually want to give a shout out, a bit of a mention to Sansoms Specialist Cars up in Morpeth. Now, this is where I did actually buy the Ibiza from, and I must say, it's got to be said, I do honestly think it's probably the best car buying experience that I've actually had. Honestly, it was, specialises in, he has actually gone through quite a few of these Cupra Blacks recently. He does a lot of variants, it does sell a lot of variants, as in, like, say, the Fiesta ST, Polo GTI, he actually has a few Polo GTI variants of this as well. So, you know, it's actually highly, highly recommended. Anyone actually looking to buy one of these or similar car, you know, do go and check him out. I'll leave all his details in the description of the video, so you guys can just obviously just go and check out what he's got. If you are obviously in the Morpeth, like, Newcastle area, do go and check him out. Obviously his address is all on there, so you know it's worth popping in just to see what he does have. Great as well, 12-month warranty, so just I've got peace of mind that way. And actually, speaking of which, I do actually have a feeling I've got an issue with the car already. I mean, although I did know the brakes needed sorting, which it's actually getting booked in next week to actually have them sorted. So, but at the same time, you probably can't. I don't think the camera's going to bring it up, but there's a bit of a rumbling, sort of around 35-40 mile an hour, which does not sound engine or gearbox related, put it that way. So I think it could probably be a wheel bearing. Yeah, I can definitely hear it now. I don't think the camera's gonna, I don't think the mic's really gonna bring it up, but yeah, so it's a bit annoying really, but you know, I do like to think, hopefully, fingers crossed, if that is the case, if it is a wheel bearing, fingers crossed that is going to be covered under warranty, and it will just cost me no more than a bit of inconvenience. Fingers crossed. And as usual, I always pick the best routes on these videos, don't I? I think every single time I come up here, there's always some roadworks or some kind of issue. So anyway, I think I'm just going to cut this. I think I'm just going to cut the next part of the video and maybe skip to a part where we've got around all these cars and we can have a little bit more fun. Oh, it's good. It is good. You can really throw this round bends. I think the good thing about this car as well is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe it has the ability, like if things are getting a little bit, if it notices the car is understeering, and I've actually known it do it maybe once or twice since I've had it, but apparently it has the ability to brake one wheel, like say if it notices that it's getting a little bit, you know, understeery, it's got the ability apparently to brake just one wheel to then just bring things back into line again. But there we go. It doesn't really tend to torque steer either, which is good. Man, this is this is so fun. And we're stuck behind another slow driver again. Actually, to be fair, it is a 40 limit, so can't really complain too much. Right, which way are you going? You're going straight on, so I'm going to go left. Although I've got to be careful down here. It's another roughish road. But anyway, guys, yes, I think I've sort of covered everything in that. I think reasons why I bought this car. Just something different. Something. I mean, I had a house purchase looming. Well, obviously I had a house purchase as well last year, so and rising insurance. That's the main reasons really why I sold my M240i. Which, if it wasn't for those things, I would probably still have it now. So I knew I had to downgrade. So this just seemed like it was something a bit different. Don't really. The Fiesta ST has kind of been done to death on YouTube, so I didn't really want to go down that topic again, if that makes sense. So I thought, not really seen this featured one of these featured that much. So I thought it seemed like a good route to take, and yeah, obviously I hope you guys like it as well. Do let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your opinions on it. But yes, anyway, guys, I think we'll end it all there. If you enjoyed the video, guys, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Also, consider subscribing for more stuff like this in the future, and of course, do not forget to hit the bell icon. Make sure to turn on all notifications so you don't miss out on a single thing to come to the channel. Until next time, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you look after yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you all very soon.